So hi guys, just a bit of an update here for you. Whilst I've just been poking around with the screwdriver really. So I've been doing evaluation on the car, and tomorrow some guys are coming to pick it up to do all the welding on it. So I've had another good look underneath. Everything else looks really good, but like I said, the floor panels and the sills, which I'll show you again in a minute, and the boot. So after having a good natter with them, they're going to let's go around here, it's a bit tight in here. So they're going to actually do the welding for me. So like I said, all the chassis is really good, really solid. It was done last time, and I think I'll be doing it again this time. But this is something I can do. I can get in with a wire brush, a drill, and repaint it. Rust kill it and repaint it, as you can see down there as well. Down there, nice and solid. All this is nice and solid as well. Some of the paint were bubbly, so I just got straight into it to see what was what. It's all solid. It's a bit rusty, but it's all solid. So this will get treated and sorted and painted. The back wing, okay, I was a bit concerned about this, but I just got into it, started scraping it all off, and as you can see, it's all nice and solid. Up here is nice and solid, across the boot solid. I have got a wet part here though. This is where the water's been ingressing, so that's where it's been getting into the boot, most probably. The boot's, yeah, the boot's the boot basically, as you can tell. It's a bit wrecked, but upon speaking to the guys, the fabricator welders, they're estimating they should be able to cut off about a third of this boot floor pan here, and then the same on this bottom valance that goes round, because the majority of it's really good, so we can make in like a half circle piece that will fit in and marry up, and then I think what they'll do is they'll put some gussets in it to strengthen it as well. I've been round, I've put WD-40 on all the bolts that need to come out, so the seat bolts, the exhaust bolts, the door bolts in case I need to get them off, the boot bolts, because that'll be wanting to come off at some point, maybe not for the welding but for the painting. Yeah, so I've been inside, I've took out what I can as well with the carpets. Need to get the seats out, and I don't know if they're going to need the seats in, so I'm just going to send them with it. There's 4 Allen bolts, four bolts on this side, 4 Allen bolts on the other side to undo, take the seats out, and they come out. And then everything else just starts coming out, so I don't want to start rounding screws off and stuff with like a 1970s Phillips screwdriver. So I'm gonna I've tried to get out what I can. I could have stripped it down more, but it's, you know, I'll leave it up to these guys. And they come, like I said, collect it tomorrow. I will order the parts tomorrow. I'm going to be sending some red lead or red oxide paint over with it as well, so obviously they can, once it's welded in, they can just red lead it, and then I can underseal it or short it or something. I need to be doing something. What else can I tell you? So I found an immobiliser on it. I've also found like an alarm system on it, so this is, I think that's going to cause me some problems later when I come around to getting the engine running, but we can work it out. We've also got a Neutronic Systems Piranha Points electronic ignition up there now. That's old school. These were one of the first companies that did electronic ignition, and I used to put them on my old GS400 Twin and the old classic bike, and it used to just make the firing really good. And that's about it, guys. That's about the update I've got for you at the moment. So yeah, it's not as bad as I first expected. You know, it's I thought it was a little bit overwhelming to start when I first got it. You know, seeing all the rust and the inner sills and stuff that had gone. But the more I look into it, the body, and what I'll do is when I go in, I'll show you through some of the paint pictures that come with it, because I mean, this guy's the guy who's done the original restoration. So I'm going to get another plaque on there as well for these guys, to say they've been in and done some welding and restoration work as well on the welding side. So, and you know, if the job's really good, guys, I'm going to be promoting these guys. They're coming straight on, and you know yourself, if you've got a classic car or an old car, welding is one of the most important things you actually need doing. And unless you've got all the tools and everything to hand and a lift, it gets a bit annoying really, so you tend to farm it out. So oh yeah, just one extra thing guys, done a little bit more research on this, but this is a so what is it? It's a Kenlo, right? Yeah, electric fan. Now this electric fan is thermostatic controlled there by the looks of it as well, but I noticed inside in the dash, I'll show you now, inside in the dash, because I was having a quick look about, and so you'll see there I've got a Kenlo button there, so I think I've got a manual override as well, so I can manually override it. No idea what any of these other buttons do. I know this is my override, up for off, down for override. All the clocks and dash looks in good order. You know, it's got 58,000 miles on it, but I guarantee this engine hasn't got 58,000 miles on it, because it's all been done and rebored and race tuned. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously it's got a stereo system in it as well, which I don't know if you can see, but there's like big speakers behind there. There's an amp for them, and they've got these pod speakers here. So I've got the other one in the boot somewhere to put back on the passenger driver's side door. And they've got these little things, so it's like a pod sit, so they can go onto flat skinny doors for sports cars. As you can see there, the wires coming through, and you know, it's obviously been screwed on at some point. It looks like the sort of thing you're going to kick on and off when you get in and out of the car. So I might just replace them with some tweeters or something, or some just flat fitting ones. The roof is in really good nick. You know, they're prone for going around where the seals are and things like that, and creating water ingress. But you know, as you can see, that's been all right. Just that part there has been the water point, and some of these places in down here where it's got in, and maybe down there, you know, down this sort of gap here, water's got in, not been covered properly, or maybe got in through the sides and it's got down into the sills and rotted everything. So, but the majority of it is really good and really solid. So, right guys, so we'll be back in my shop in a minute, and I'll show you some of the paperwork we've got, and then I can bring it to speed.